Welcome to the Inner Sanctum's 5 Rings in 5 Minutes, where we recap the 5 stories coming out of days -2 and -1 of the Tokyo 2020 Olympics.
Well, it's finally official. Brisbane will be the host of the 35th Olympiad in 2032. Queensland Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk was in Tokyo for the announcement, while Southbank in Brisbane hosted the incredible celebrations. The International Olympic Committee voted in favour of Queensland's bid to host the Games at 72-5 with 3 abstentions. Brisbane at 2032 will be the 3rd time Australia has hosted the Olympics after Melbourne 1956 and Queensland 2000. The bid included a big push from Paralympics Australia, who after the announcement released a statement saying Paralympics Australia will supercharge a decades-long journey to embed parasport as a means for societal change. Following confirmation, Brisbane has been awarded the honour and responsibility of hosting the 2032 Paralympic Games. The fantastic announcement for Australian sport comes on the eve of the Tokyo Olympics, where Australia is expected to have their strongest medal performance since Beijing 2008.
In number 2, we have the Matildas, who earned their first win for an Australian team on Wednesday night as they beat New Zealand 2-1. It's a sigh of relief for many Australian fans who haven't watched the women's football team win in nearly a year and a half now. The Aussies got off to a strong start, playing a highly aggressive style from the first whistle. Young gun Ellie Carpenter and speedster Hayley Rasso created plenty of attacking play, which was capitalised on before long. Tamika Yallop scored the first of the Matildas' 2 goals in a display of just how potent the attacking line can be. She sprinted into the box and kicked truly past the Kiwi keeper. Sam Kerr finally broke her scoring drought not even 15 minutes later. She read the cross from Steph Catley's corner perfectly and then found the back of the net with ease. It wasn't all good news for the Matildas though, with New Zealand finding a late score to bring the ledger back to 2-1. The next Group G matches will be on Saturday. The Matildas are taking on Sweden, who are fresh off a 3-0 demolition of reigning world champions, the USA.
Coming in at number 3, the Aussie Spirit opened the Tokyo 2020 Olympics with the first softball match against the Japanese at Fukushima Arizema Stadium yesterday. The Aussies started out strong with a Michelle Cox score off a Chelsea Forkin hit, but unfortunately that was as far as they got. Despite getting into scoring positions multiple times with the bases loaded, Yukiko Ueno, the Japanese pitcher, was able to hold them out and prevent them from scoring, and the Japanese managed to score with a mercy rule in the 5th innings, 8-1. The Aussies did come back today, though. They took on the Italians, and what was a stalemate for most of the afternoon as Kaya Parnaby pitched a brilliant game, was broken by Talia Tsitsikronis later on as she scored. Ellen Roberts came in late with 1 out to go. With all the tension in the world, she managed to pitch truly and prevent the Italians from scoring, giving the Aussies a 1-0 win.
Coming in at number 4, there was a dramatic moment late in today's Mexico-Japan softball game, where umpire Frankie Billingsley was struck by an errant ball. Japan's Yukiko Ueno's pitch deflected off the bat of Chelsea Gonzalez and went straight into the umpire's face guard, putting her to ground. The match was momentarily paused as officials and players gathered around Billingsley. After making sure she was okay, the match continued. Billingsley wasn't ready to give up her Olympic moment though, taking back her post and officiating the rest of the game. The game would push to an extra innings after Mexico earned a walk in their final regulation innings. Gonzalez stormed home to tie the scores, but Japan managed to fight back with a strikeout and win 3-2. The home nation have rocketed up the standings, equal on wins with the USA. Both teams will now enjoy a break on Friday before softball resumes play on Saturday. Mexico takes on the USA next, while Japan faces off with Italy.
Coming in at number 5, last on our countdown. In the first match of Group C, Egypt and Spain played out a dour, scoreless draw. It looked like the Aussies were headed for doom for about 13 minutes before Joel King crossed and Lockie Wells converted, and the Aussies went 1-0 up on Argentina. With their attacking style under Graham Arnold, the Aussies threatened the goal multiple times, and in the shadows of halftime, Francisco Ortega was sent off by the referee, so the Argentinians would play 1 man short for the rest of the match. The second half, the Aussies failed to capitalise, it looked like, with a number of shots missing by just a couple of centimetres. In the 78th minute, Arnold made the switch and Marco Tilio came onto the field. With his first touch, he buried the ball deep in the back of the net with a brilliant goal from outside the box as the Aussies went 2-0 up. After one day in competition, they're sitting top of the table in Group C and looking fantastic. Up the Ollie Roos.